Alright, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to actually fill a DS form, not just the DS form, but then the best way to fill a DS form. This is how I filled my DS form. So I'm not saying mine was the perfect one, but at least that's what got me the visa here. So I advise that you should just use the rules that I use if you feel comfortable with it. I'm not forcing you to use them. Now, the DS form is the most important form you would ever fill when applying for a US visa because it's like your CV for your interview. Now, when you go for your interview or you have been for your interview before, you realize that when you are speaking to the visa officer, he or she is looking on the screen. They just pull out your DS form because when you go to the visa officer, the first thing they do is to scan your passport together with your I-20. And before that, you know what happens? When you go for your interview, the first section is they scan your DS form to attach to your passport. So the moment you go to the visa officer and they scan your passport, it displays your DS-160 form. So your DS-160 form is the most important thing. The least red flag on it can let them refuse you. So on your DS form, if you wrote that your dad is funding and then at the interview you tell them that your brother is funding, they can refuse you. So I'm going to show you guys how to fill a DS form from scratch. My old video on YouTube about filling the new visa portal has been deleted because they said I was showing people's numbers and email address. So I'm going to reshoot that video and then upload it. So I'm going to try my best to not show people any address or anything. So I created a new Google account and then I did it. So save this video, share it to your friends and families if they are applying for visas, that this is the only way or the best way to fill a DS form. So you're going to fill it from scratch. So this is the DS-160 form. And the best time to fill a DS-160 form is let's say a week to your interview, because at that time you have every information that you need. So you can already create a fake DS-160 form, use it to create the visa portal, and then when you're ready to submit the original one, you just update it. So you just go on Google fresh page and then search for DS-160 form. So this is the only way you can find it, and you go to the online non-immigrant visa application and then it will take you to the website, the main portal. So this is how the DS forms portal looks like. Any other thing is fake. So this is the original portal. So you select the country. So let's say Ghana, Accra, Ghana. You choose Ghana. It will refresh automatically, but then it's normal. So you choose Accra, Ghana, and then you enter the captcha code or whatever they call it. So 4HD4, and then you go to start an application. It's supposed to refresh. I don't know what's happening. It's supposed to refresh, but I don't know what is happening. So one thing about DS form is you have to pay full attention to it. I advise you use your laptop because when you take your eyes off the DS form for even a minute, by the time you come back, it has refreshed. And it's very stressful filling it. So it has refreshed automatically. This is what you do. You enter the captcha code 33RJS. So the moment you start application, quickly, the moment it logs in, it will log in a second. What is happening? It will log in a second. So the moment it logs in, any moment from now. Oh, why does it want to disgrace me today? So the moment it logs in. Okay, so the moment it logs in, this is the first thing you do. You take a picture of this number. This thing that I'm highlighting, the DS-160 form. This is your new number, your DS-160 number. Take a picture of it on your phone or save the number somewhere. The reason you want to do this is because when the page refreshes any moment from now, you can keep it or you can just log in again. And then what is the given name for your mother? So I don't know which name which woman should I use? Should I use, let's say, Mercy? So you can just use Mercy or your mother's name as your security question, and then you click continue. All right, so you click continue and then it takes you to the next page. What is happening? Why is it delaying? Oh, it is the next day. So yesterday, okay, it was this morning around 2 a.m. So while recording it earlier this morning, we had issues with the site. So I think the portal was down. So what I was saying is that you copy this code, which is your new DS number, and then save it. In case you mistakenly forget your account, you can just log in again. So you just copy this code as soon as possible. So you're going to fill the forms from scratch, and then this is the very first page that you appear on. So this is the very first page. So your surname should be, let's say, which name should we use? Let's just say Mensa. My name is not Mensa, but let's just use Mensa. That's my surname. Mensa is my surname. The microphone. Yeah, let's just use Mensa as my surname, and then the first name should be David, and then no, does not apply. Have you ever used any other names? Nope. So you just choose no. Do you have any telecode? No, you don't have a telecode. If you have, fine. And then your male, you choose your marital status, single. And then Your date of birth, you could just use random dates for whatever 2000. These are random generated things. These aren't real names. These aren't real things. So random. So city of birth, you can just choose Accra. State, Accra does not have a state. Ghana does not have a state. So Ghana. And then you go to the next page. Okay, so the next page, your country of origin too is also Ghana here. And then you choose Ghana. Have you had any nationality other than the one indicated above? No. And then you have a permanent residence? No. If you don't have one, fine. If you have a Ghana card, you can enter it. If you do not have it, does not apply. So you normally enter your Ghana card or your ECOWAS card. That is what we call it over here. You don't have a US Social Security yet. You don't have a US taxpayer ID yet. And then the next, you go to travel. I'm going to try my impossible best to just skip through so that you guys get a fair view of how it looks like. Okay, purpose of trip to the USA. So mostly students. So F1, academic or language. So that is it. So F1 is for students. Have you made any specific travel plans? This is very important. So you choose yes. You have made specific travel plans. Yes, so yes, they'll ask you date of arrival in the US. So you just choose the date you intend to arrive. Make sure it's within 30 days of the class starts day. So maybe choose something like 20 days before the classes start. So let's say 10th August 2025. And let's say your classes start on 30th September. So yeah, it makes sense. Arrival flight, if known. So if you know your arrival flight, if you know. And the city of arrival, if your school is in New York, you just write in New York. Any states that the school is in. And then the date of departure, choose a date where your classes end. So if your classes or your school is done in May 2027, put June. Okay, like 1 month or something. So put June 2027. Yep. The date that it's on your I-20 as well. So yeah. And the departure city as well, New York. So these are the cities. And then the places that you plan to visit, you can just write New York or something. It doesn't really matter. And the address of where you stay in the school. So let's just generate a random address. YouTube, this is a random address. The previous video got deleted. This is not a real address. This is just a random address. So let's say your address could be 43rd Avenue, New York. And then city, New York. And then the state, New York. And then the zip code, if known. So the zip code, if you know the zip code, you can have it. And the school's web address is always on their website. So yeah. So the person sponsoring for a trip, it could be you, other person. The other person is your sponsor, your parent or anyone. So other person could be your dad. So let's say my dad is Mensa. My dad is also, let's say, Mensa David. Yes. And then yeah, his telephone number, you could just use some random figures 233 blah 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 5 blah blah blah. And then his email address, you can choose to enter it or not. And then relationship, you just choose parent. Is the address of your parent or the person sponsoring the same as yours? Yes or no? And then you just go to the next one. So this place, you'll be asked if there's anyone traveling with you, and most of the times it's no. If you don't have anyone traveling with you, as a dependent. Yeah. And then go to the next site. Have you ever been in the US? Nope. If you have been, have you ever been issued a US visa? If you have, yes or no? Have you been refused? If you've been refused, you choose yes. And this is what you write. Just state the law. So under law 214B. If they refused you before and they give you that document showing that you've been refused, look at the law under which you were refused. Don't explain anything here. Just write the law under which you were refused. So under law 214B. If you haven't been refused, just no. Has anyone filed? And if someone has filed for you, whatever, just write it then no. And then you go to the next address and then phone. I haven't even taken a picture of the number yet. Yeah. Okay. So your home address, let's say Accra, Ghana. Just write it here. City, Accra. State doesn't matter. If you have the zip code, you can add it. And then the country, Ghana. And then the mailing address, yes. If it is the same as your mailing address, yes. And then your phone number plus random number to 233. And then secondary, does not matter. Work, does not matter. Have you used any other phone number? If you don't have, no problem. Your email address. So let's say any random email. Nope. Social media pages is very important. So put a social media page there. So your Instagram. So you can put your Instagram. By the way, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Sam Charles. So you can put your Instagram there, or you can add any other social media pages. If you have any websites, so you can put your website here. Any additional social media platform or something, you can put your website. If you don't have, no problem. And then you go to your passport. No thanks. So your passport, you select your regular passport and then your document number. This is just a random figure I'm generating, but I'll still blur it because YouTube says you can't show figures or something. So passport book number does not apply. City, Accra. Country, Ghana. Issuance date, so the dates they issue the passport, you enter everything there, and then 2021 or 20, any year, so 2031, and then let's say February 7. Yeah. Have you ever lost your passport? Most of you haven't experienced. So yes. So now your contact in the US is the name on your I-20, which is your admissions officer or your international admissions officer. So you enter their surname. Let's say Frank. And then Edwards, just a random name, and then the university's name. So the university you attend, so let's say Harvard University. Let's just say Harvard University, and then the relationship, which is your school official. All right, so you fix it there, and the school's address. So 43rd Street, New York, City, New York, and then state, New York. The state is New York. And then the zip code, if you know, and the phone number of the admissions officer. You can just email them and ask for them. So, and then you enter their email address, and then you go to your family. So your father's full name, if you know it, fine. If you do not know it, no problem. For the sake of time, I'm going to skip all these things because I don't want to just waste time. So do not know, and then I'll just. But then, if your parents are alive and you have it, just enter it. Do you have any immediate relatives, not including parents, in the United States? So here you can intentionally set a trap and say, yes, you have a friend there. Well, no, okay, friends are not immediate relatives, sorry. So if you have cousins, you can choose to add it, and if you don't want to add it, no problem. So I will choose no. And then you go to the next. Have you have other relatives in the US? No. Work and education, the most important part. So if you are working, which you should put your education or put your current employment there. Don't choose unemployed like I did my first interview. So just fix something, maybe medical or health. So mental employees, maybe Kolebu hospital, and then the address is maybe Kole, Accra, and then city is ACCRE. Does not apply. And then the phone number you just of your employer or your supervisor, blah 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 blah, also here. And then your start date, so the date you started the job. And then your monthly income, you can write something like 10,000 cedis or something. And now briefly describe your duties. Make sure you don't make any spelling mistake. So over here, I was in charge of patients in the emergency ward, making sure I have their data in. Simple. If you have any other job description, just write it there, but make sure your English is good. And then you go to the previous. Were you previously employed? If yes, fix it here. If no to, then you can just go to no. Have you attended any educational institutions at secondary or whatever above? Yes. So if you went to high school, enter it. If you went to university, enter it. So you enter all this information here. I'm going to choose no for the sake of time. And then you go to your work additional. So do you belong to a tribe or clan? Yes. You write yes. Make sure you write yes, because it's like a proof of ties. You belong to a tribe here. So your tribe, maybe Akan, and then you fix it then. Languages that you speak, maybe you can speak Akan too as well, or if you have any other language, you can add it. So I can speak Gan, a little bit of Gan, and then so these are the things. So you fix it then. Have you traveled to any countries within the last 5 years? If yes, yes. If no, no. Have you belonged to any charity, which is very, very important? So you choose yes, and then you fix charity organizations, maybe Ghana Red Cross. Add like 5. Add another one, maybe Ghana Boys Association. Another one too, like you just add them. Let's say you add your church, maybe Perez Chapel. So add your church too, And then here, the most of them is no. So have you experienced specialized nuclear blah blah? No. Have you ever served in the military? If yes, fine. No. Have you ever been involved? No. And then you go to the next one, and then communicable. Most of these places are no, because they are like mental sicknesses and all those things. So no. And then no, and then background, basically no. But really true. I mean, I'm choosing no because I'm familiar with it, and it's more about like no, and then next, and then security no, and then part 5 no. And now you go to the service form. So this is your additional point of contact. If you have any friend or anyone in case of emergency, let's say my best friend, let's say Dennis or whatever, Dennis Ado, any random name. I'm generating random names, and then his address, Accra, Ghana, and then the city is Accra, and then the zip code is mostly 00230. Telephone number, you can choose to add it or not. And then another person, you need 2 points of contact. So let's just say Edward Asari, or I'm just mixing the names. And then his also address Accra. For the sake of time, I don't want the page to refresh. Accra. And then postal code, you can choose to add it or not. And then the telephone number, you can choose to add it or not. Same for the email. And then the next is the service fee. Service ID is on the left side of your I-20. So on the bottom left of your I-20 is your service ID, and it usually starts with N. So N00 blah 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 blah. And the name of your school, Harvard University. And then course of study, maybe medicine. And then address of the school, 43rd Avenue, New York. And then state, New York. And then the zip code, blah blah. And then you go to your next, the photo. Now, one thing people don't know is that people don't know is that you can skip the photo part and then just go with your ID to the interview. So we are going to skip the photo part. You normally click here to upload the photo. So you choose photo size and then you just upload it. But make sure that it's the American size 2x2. So I'm going to skip the photo part and then we'll go to the next part. No. Okay, for the sake of it's not allowing us, let's just use a photo. Do I even have a photo that I can upload? Let's see if I have a passport picture that I can upload, hopefully. Okay, I'm choosing this. Select upload selected photo. Okay, it says the size is too huge, so I have to choose another one. The size is too huge, so I have to choose another photo that has a lower size. Okay, I'm going to use my friend's. No, I'm not going to use this picture. No, I'm not going to use this guy's picture. You see it. So I'm going to find some. I'm trying to find my passport picture. I have it on my laptop. I don't know where it is. So I'm going to try to find a passport picture that I can use so that it fits into the category that they are looking for. No, I'm not finding any picture. Let's see if this one works. Okay. So they passed it. This doesn't mean you should use this picture. This was me in the train coming to the US. In the train. So they passed it and everything. So continue using this photo. So this is the photo that would be on your DS-160 form. And then you go to review. Now this is a summary of all the information that you entered. Now this is where the trick is. You go to next. And then next. And then next. Make sure that the information is correct. If there is any mistake, you just click edit. And then you edit it. And then next. And then next. You go to make sure that everything is intact, everything. And then this is where you sign and submit. So you click here. Oh, I made a very stupid mistake. Did anyone assist you in filling your application? So you can choose no, yes. So I'm supposed to enter my passport number, but I generated a passport number off my head, so I don't know. I have to go back. So I have to go back and watch the passport number that I used. So which passport number? Okay. Okay, so I'm looking for the passport. Okay, so A00. Okay, so next, next, and then you sign. You go to the last page, sign and submit. Hey, I have class at 10 and it's 9:23. All right, next, sign and submit. So this place you click, you have not received. Did anyone assist you? Yes or no? No. And then you enter your passport number here, and then you enter the code VIN, and then you sign and submit. So this is the interesting part. Go to the confirmation. Now make sure you don't do anything. Just quickly go to the print application. So click on print application. Now it will print all the questions that you entered. So you see all the questions that you entered, it will print it here. And then what do? You save it. You click print application, and then it saves the document. So you don't forget any information that you entered on the DS form. But don't take it to the interview with you. And then you go back to the confirmation, and now you can print confirmation here. So now you have two documents, or you can email the confirmation. So now you have the 2 DS form, which is the one you entered for your answers, so that in case you go for interview, you don't forget what you entered. Maybe you wrote something here and you're like, no, let me be sure, and all those things. So just print application all the time. So print application before print confirmation. So yeah, that is it. Basically, that is how to fill a DS form. I filled everything under 25 minutes. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have class right now and I'm late. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Also get my book from Amazon, Perez bookshop, my book on rejection. You can schedule a one-on-one appointment with me, or everything is going to be in the description. And yeah, that is it basically. Peace out.